Hey there, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and as you can see, I'm in the car. It is New Comic Book Day, but I'm also coming back from my hometown in West Virginia, and I had a decision to make. Do I head home and then go down to my normal LCS, Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland after I get home, or do I stop along one of these shops along the way? There's at least 3 different shops along my way going home from West Virginia. And this turned out to be a perfect week for it because I've got very little on my pull list this week. In fact, there's only about 3 books that I'm looking to target. And I'm not too worried about it. They're mostly regular covers. I had done a really good job this month of pre-ordering most of the new comic books I want, which is something that when I fail at pre-ordering, that's what I use New Comic Book Day for, is to go in there and find the books that I forgot to order or I might not have known about. So this is a great opportunity for me to stop off at one of the shops along the way, and I've decided to stop in Frederick, Maryland at Beyond Comics. Now, this is a shop that I've talked about before in this channel. Not a lot, but I have been here before. I've bought some really good Prime books, some nice keys. I bought new books. I've gone through their variant bins. They've got some nice boxes up there by the counter that's got some ratios that are usually pretty good. So I'm going to go in here today. I'm going to pick up my new comics and I'm going to go through probably that variant ratio box and see what they've got. And then I'll come back and we'll do a little show and tell. So guys, stay tuned and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I just finished up at Beyond Comics here in Frederick, Maryland, and I had forgotten just how good a shop this really is. I went in for only 3 new comic books this week. I'd figured I'd go in, get out, be done with this. And that's not what happened. They had a lot of great boxes out. I started going through things, and you know what? I'm not even going to wait to get home. Let's do the show and tell right now, and we'll wrap this show up. So, what did I get this week for New Comic Book Day? First up was Blood and Thunder from Image Comics right here. This is a Robert Kirkman book, and I went ahead and picked that up. Don't know much about it, but it's Robert Kirkman, another #1 issue. I did pick up Marvel's new Star Wars #1, just a regular cover right there. And I had dropped this again. This is the new X-Men from the Ashes, issue number 16. And why did I pick this up? Because I don't care about the story, but Netho Diaz is back on the art again in this issue. I think you've still got a Ryan Stegman cover here. Probably, I don't know, but I know that Netho Diaz is back on the book, so I decided to get that because I'm becoming a real fan of his artwork. But that was it, guys. That's all I was going to go in there for, and I ended up finding all 3 of those, and I was going to be done. But I turned around, and there were some boxes, and it had all kinds of different things. It wasn't just your regular alphabetized boxes, back issues or whatever. They had boxes that had signed comics in it. Let's start with that. So what did I find? And like I said, I wasn't going to get in there. I wasn't really looking for anything, but I started going through the signed boxes right there and they had some really good stuff. And let me show you what I picked up. Spider-Man #1 right here. It is signed by Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos. $12 for that right there, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. That little corner down there is a little iffy, but this is a book I would consider getting graded. Now, I've met Dan Slott before at Baltimore Comic Con, I think many years ago. I've never met Humberto Ramos, but I thought this was pretty cool. Good #1 right there. That's a book that I would get signed, or excuse me, I would get graded without even being signed. And I thought that was pretty cool. We've got issue number 456 right here of the X-Men. And I decided to get this because Alan Davis signed it. And Chris Claremont wrote this, and I love this cover. It's one of my favorites from that era. Alan Davis does some great artwork. Sorry about the glare there, guys. And this is a book I will probably take to Heroes Con in June to get signed by Claremont. This is a book that I probably won't get graded. I don't think there's a lot of value in getting graded. And I am trying to get out of that mentality that every book has to get signed and graded to really add value to it. There is just value in getting books like this for your PC and keeping them raw, right? All right, now this is a book that I'm definitely taking down to Heroes because I have got a package. I bought into a package to meet and greet with on Sunday night after the con, or maybe it's the last hour of the con down to Heroes, I bought a package to meet John Romita. It's only a group of 30 people. And you get 10 autographs, you get a pre-done head sketch. He's going to do one for Spider-Man for me. And you get a chance to do a chance and a drawing to for a full-size drawing that he's going to do. It's out of the two groups, the two meet and greet groups. I guess out of 60 people, one person's going to win. But I've got 10 autographs that I'm going to be getting from John Romita Jr. And I found this right here, Captain America #1. Rick Remender, I hope I'm saying that right, actually signed this one. $15 for that right there. Sorry about the glare. And let me go back real quick. That Claremont, I think I paid a whole $8 for that one right there. And then, speaking of X-Men, there was this whole run. I had dropped X-Men for a long time, and this is that run. I had really dropped it for a long time, but I missed a lot of great art. And Terry Dotson was doing some great art for them at the time. And right here, Terry Dotson cover with Kitty Pryde, and that is a beautiful Terry Dotson. And this is one that if I ever get to meet Rachel Dotson, I will get her to sign that as well. Yeah, that was a pretty awesome cover. It's not, again, just for the PC, not to worry about getting graded. And I talked about getting John Romita. Now this is one that I might consider getting graded because of the signatures on here. It was the new Avengers #1, excuse me. Avengers #1, I guess it's not 9.8 quality there after me dropping it like that. But look at this. You got this beautiful Brian Michael Bendis autograph right there. I know it's a little hard there. You can see it a little bit better. So I will consider putting John Romita Jr. on this, and Klaus Jansson's on here, did the inking on here, so I will try to add him as well. So that one's definitely going to get signed by John Romita Jr. I may consider getting these graded. A whole $9 for this right there. And since we're talking about Brian Michael Bendis, I picked up the all-new X-Men issues #1, and you got Stuart Immonen. Oh my God, I can't even pronounce his name. He was the one who took over for Bagley when Bagley finally left Ultimate Spider-Man, the original Ultimate Spider-Man. And Immonen, oh my God, is that how you say it? I have no idea. But he did the art on here, and right up here, you got that Brian Michael Bendis autograph. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, it's huge up there in that big purple autograph. And I thought this was a really cool cover of the original team, but they had issue #2 as well, and they've got sort of the more of the new X-Men. And there's Brian Michael Bendis up there, and these were $9 a piece as well. And I'm going, wow, these are really cool. And I couldn't wait to pick these up after I saw I figured that price. I mean, you go to the con and you're going to be paid sometimes $10 or $15 for an autograph on all of these. And these are all books that I think every one of them in there has a possibility of getting a second autograph, or sometimes a third autograph. So I'm looking forward to using these as project pieces as I go forward with going to cons and everything. But I'm not done yet. So we are only a few days after Free Comic Book Day, and I ended up coming to the shop. Now, I've done this before after Free Comic Book Day, and they seem to always have a really good selection, and they put limits on you, and they did as well this time. And they had a limit. You could come in and you could pick up 5 copies. Now, if you brought a food donation, you could pick up 10. But I figured, okay, let's go in there and take a look and see what they have. I went to Third Eye Comics for Free Comic Book Day because they had brought in Jim Zub to do a signing. Well, I come up here to Beyond Comics, and I knew they would probably have some comics left over, and I was right, they did. So, but I could only pick up 5. So what did they have here? Well, it turned out they had some different things and some other things that weren't technically Free Comic Book Day things. But let's start with the Free Comic Book Days. I did pick up the new Energon universe right here. And what's cool is you got G.I. Joe. I can't remember the Joe's name here, but you've got, there's the Transformer in the back. There's a connection between the two. I remember seeing that when they released that image, they didn't have the Transformer in the background as a tease. Now, I talked about Jim Zub, so I picked up a second copy of his new Conan book. This is Scourge of the Serpent. And you've got this beautiful, it is Roberto De La Torre. I'm getting that right there. Doing the art on the cover. I'm not sure who's doing the art on the inside. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, you've got some different artists, but that De La Torre cover is just fantastic. And I did pick up another Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe right here. And yeah. So those were the new free comic book ones that I picked up. But they had this right here, and I don't know if this was from Free Comic Book Day or that it was just a promotion, but they had Planet Death #0 from Bad Idea. And this is a book that I had kind of avoided. I didn't want to get involved with Bad Idea all over again. Everything they do is a bad idea. But this was interesting that I didn't see this at Third Eye Comics. And again, I don't think this is from Free Comic Book Day, but they had a copy of that. And what's neat about this is it is not a gloss cover. It is a kind of a newsprinty cover that is the same paper as the interior on that. And then they also had additional copies of the ash can for Batman Hush. This is from issue 159. So I picked up one of those. I did get one of these from Third Eye Comics as well. So I've got two of these now. And I was wrong. There was one other book that I did pick up, and I talked about this in one of my free comic book days, my new comic book days recently, that I decided against this book. It was a great cover. I even showed the cover on the channel, even though I didn't pick it up. It's because Third Eye, even though they had a ton of these, they wanted, I think, $25 for this. And I said I liked it. I just didn't like it enough at $25. And it was by the artist Michael Cho, who's been killing it. He had been killing it on those first 5 or 6 issues of the new Space Ghost series. He's got some wonderful, wonderful Marvel covers. I just absolutely love them. But he did the cover to this. This is Batman 159. And as I said, I didn't like it for $25. But for $14, I'll pick it up, and I'll take this down to Heroes and get this signed as well. But guys, that is everything I picked up from Beyond Comics. I will leave their information down in the description of today's video. Guys, give them a chance. They have a second store here in Maryland that I've never been to, but I've just been to the one here in Frederick, Maryland. Great shop. They end up setting up at the Baltimore Comic-Con. You see them there. A lot of great stuff in there. You can find some good books. So I encourage you guys to come out to Frederick and check out their website for the other location. Good stuff here, guys. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, definitely give me a like, slap that subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every day, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. And guys, definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you think about the new comic books I picked up this week. I want to know what you picked up, and what do you think about the books that I got that I am planning to get additional creators to sign. I'd love to know. Just leave me that comment. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day, and remember, every comic has a story.